Hello, Oracles. What can we expect from the market this week, the first full week of the 2025 year, the week of January 6th, 2025? This week is going to be a lot about jobs, unemployment. What data are we getting from that? Last week, we had the Fed come out telling us that they feel comfortable about how the jobs market is looking, and they want to do everything they can to keep the stock market moving forward in 2025. Part of my concern behind that is going to be the fact that when the Fed says something like that, it may mean that they see some sort of cracks going on and they want to be able to support the market because if they can give us a bullish stock market is good for the jobs market. So perhaps they're saying these things to kind of keep the sentiment going on a bullish standpoint. But this week, we're going to get some actual data that comes in to tell us what's really going on behind the scenes. So we're going to take a look and see what we're going to be seeing this week when it comes to that jobs data and what dates we're going to be seeing it coming out because starting off this year so far, saw a little bit of a red, and then we kind of turned around partway through the day on Friday. So we really need to see what's going to be going on going forward, what's going to be transpiring over the next month, and we'll kind of discuss some of that in this video. All right, so looking at what we're going to be expecting this week, on Monday, we're going to be seeing the factory orders coming out for November. And the forecast is a negative zero point 0.3 and factory orders at a negative. That is a shrinkage of growth, but going into the holiday season, that's okay. So we're looking for a forecast of negative zero point 0.3. And previously for October, we had a 0.2%. On Tuesday, we have Barkin coming out and speaking, and he's the one who on Friday came out and said what he did about the market being bullish going this year because the Fed is going to be supporting it. So he's going to be coming out on Tuesday to share some more words there. Perhaps he shares more positive words and keeps the market going forward. On Tuesday at 10 o'clock, we're also going to get the job openings for November. The expectation is 7.7 million, and previously we also saw 7.7 million. On Wednesday, we get the ADP employment report. They're expecting 130,000 jobs. Previously, we saw 146,000. Now, don't forget the holiday season. A lot of the hiring is done prior to that, so that's where we would have seen that 146. So 130 is going to be a lot less seasonal hiring. And then in January, we typically see a lot of those layoffs. A lot of those seasonal workers are let go in January, and we may see a lot of that coming up. So especially if we see some weaker earnings reports that come out, they can kind of support that a little bit and give it a little bolster and say, hey, but we're cutting X number of jobs. Now, realistically, a lot of those jobs that they're cutting are just the seasonal jobs, but typically it kind of tends to soften the blow a little bit because their earnings were not so good. But it's going to be important to read through those weeds when we do get those earnings to say, hey, were earnings weak despite the fact that they're going to be doing this? What were earnings looking for the holiday season? Were they not even close? What is going on? There's a lot more information that we can pull out of these earnings reports, understanding how it's all going to be transpiring. On Wednesday, we're also going to be getting the minutes of the Fed's December FOMC meeting, going behind that decision that they did to make that 25 basis point cut, despite the fact that they were telling us that jobs market was looking good and inflation was looking like it was going to be potentially a worse problem in 2025. And if inflation is going to be a worse problem in 2025, why would they be cutting rates? They would want to keep rates higher. So we could get some information on Wednesday about these minutes discussing some of that. On Thursday, we're going to get the initial jobless claims report. No estimate for that yet. Previously, we had 211,000, and that comes out on a weekly basis. And then Friday is the big one on the 10th. We are going to get the unemployment report. Unemployment, we're expecting 155,000 with an unemployment rate of 4.2%. Hourly wages are expected to come down a little bit to 0.3% from that 0.4%. And the year over year hourly wages are expected to stay the same at 4%. So this information here on Friday is going to be the big one. So while we may have some things that go on over the course of the week that could move the market a little bit one way or another, this is going to be the big one right here. Because if we end up seeing a weaker than expected jobs report, and we end up seeing maybe a 4.3% unemployment, then that's not going to bode well at all. Now, February's report is going to show us even because of the layoffs that we're going to be seeing from the seasonal workers, but this does take that into account. So we're really expecting to see these numbers here come in at these levels or even better because if unemployment is worse than a 4.2%, you can see the market sell off considerably, considering the Fed said that they're going to be leaving rates higher for longer because of inflation. They'll be stuck in the situation where, well, if they keep rates higher for longer, that could create a worse unemployment situation, making this go up even higher. And if they continue to cut rates, they could maybe save the unemployment from going up, but it could lead to inflation going up even higher, causing a wage price spiral, because then we would end up seeing wages going up as well. Now, again, going to wages, if we do end up seeing hourly wages going up also, and the fears of inflation coming this year, that could also be an issue going forward. So This report on Friday is going to be huge. So we'll pay attention to see what's going on when this comes out at the end of the week. And so now, if we're going to be talking about Tesla or growth stocks or anything like that, we kind of saw a little bit of a sell off when it came to the we'll call it the Trump stocks for lack of a better term, because it's a lot of the stocks that did very well after Trump won the election. And that would include what I own: SoFi, Palantir, Tesla. Bank stocks did well. So there's a lot of different stocks like that that did very well after Trump won. And a lot of that, I think, is sentiment based. So we saw a little bit of a sell off of those on the second. I was if that was going to be, oh, we're in the new year right now, so people are going to take their profits because they don't know what's going on. But then we kind of saw them all rebound on Friday. So this is just one of those things to pay attention to going forward. And I mentioned it in the live stream on Friday how we might get a sell the news situation. These stocks may continue to run all the way up until Trump's inauguration. Then, when the inauguration happens, we might see a sell off at that time as a sell the news situation. Tesla may be disconnected from that a little bit, but now that we've got the delivery report that's out, there's really nothing else that we're going to be seeing Tesla specifically, unless there's some news that comes out. But realistically, going into the earnings report, they aren't supposed to be telling us anything. So it'll probably be kind of quiet when it comes to news between now and the inauguration, and even now in earnings. So we might start to see a little bit of a sell off at the inauguration. Again, that's just a guess on my side of things. When we see things happen like this in the past, it's a lot of times what happens is you get that sell news situation. So for Tesla specifically, we may end up getting that also. And then earnings will kind of be that, where is the market feeling at the moment? What has the unemployment number done to kind of cause the market to feel one way or the other? Where is the sentiment in the market? And Tesla's going to feel that as well. So if we end up getting a worse than expected jobs report and the whole market sells off, I would expect Tesla to sell off with that. Conversely, if we end up getting a neutral or a bullish jobs report, we may see Tesla push up even higher. Now, we did see that massive rebound on Friday when we had that stock come back up over $400. Now, it still did not close over previous all-time highs from a few years ago at that $414 level. But again, I had discussed that on Friday as well, where we're looking like we're in a dead cat bounce at the moment. Our now new all-time high is $480. Intraday is around 488. And when we bounce down after that, we hit that $465 level. So on this rebound right now, I want to see us cross that $465 level and push up from there to test that 480 again. If we come up short of that $465 level and then fall back down again, then I'm going to be looking for levels below us at the $358 gap. So that's just what I'm looking at in the charts. Again, that's just for somebody who's looking to learn what's going on in the charts, or if just swing trading or anything like that. Just what I'm looking at chart wise. And personally, I do think it's disconnected from fundamentals at the moment. I do think we have a lot of future earnings growth built into the stock price right now. So I do think we do have some time to kind of cool off a little bit and give us some better buying opportunities, but you never know what's going to happen. So that's just what I'm paying attention to. But again, following this week along to see how the stock might move with that. This week, we're going to be looking at a lot of different jobs data coming in, Barkin coming out and talking on Tuesday, and then again, the huge unemployment report coming out on Friday. So you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you feel about the jobs report that's coming out this week? Do you think we're going to see what we're expecting to see? Do you think it's going to be better or worse? Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Have a great one.